Hey, Kelly here. It is so freaking beautiful today. I was gonna do a wrap-up video, but I really want to take Linus for a walk, so maybe I will take him for a walk, and I don't know, we'll see what I end up posting. I'm not really sure, but anyways, I'm about to go do some theater work, behind the scenes stuff. I have a meeting to talk with a local church to see if we can use their space as a rehearsal hall, because I'm an actor, but I'm also a producer for my own company. So gotta do that, and then I hope I can take Linus for a walk before a crosswalk, and hopefully finish the Crown of Gilded Bones, because I'm so close. So yeah, I will check back later. Bye. Go, Linus, go, go, go! I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. So I actually forgot to tell you, but I actually found a loose dog today in my neighborhood, and I went outside, checked for a collar, no collar, super cute, old, curly-haired, fluffy dog, and I went door to door with my mask on, trying to find this poor dog's owner, and it turned out to be the house on the corner that's the closest to the highway, and she just had her side door fully open, and she was like, "Oh my god, that's my dog Jack. He's half blind and deaf. Poor little guy." Are you serious, girl? I just saved your dog's life, okay? So, yeah. Very productive day. I had a theater meeting. I saved a dog. I read some books, and I filmed a video. Now I'm just waiting for the crosswalk. Cool. Hey everyone, Kelly here. So today I just wanted to do a quick little April wrap up. I feel like I didn't read that much this month, but when I look at my Goodreads, at my handy dandy computer here, it looks like I didn't do too bad. So this month I've read 7 books, and I'm almost done my 8th one. So I'm releasing this on the 30th, so I hope that I will be done when I have released this video. So not too bad. I mean, I know some people read a ton of books every month. I thought I read a few more, but I guess not. I mean, this was a weird month. It felt like a super short month, but also a really, really long month. So, wow. Can't believe it's done in a way. The first book I read this month isn't really a book per se. It is a online weekly comic or manga, and I am reading it off of the app Manta Comics. I had never heard of this app, but I kept getting advertisements for the app and for this particular story, so I thought, why not? It's like $4 a month. They're not sponsoring this video. I'm just sharing with you how I found this. And the story I've been reading is called Under the Oak Tree, and it was written by Kim Sooji, and it says illustrator P. So there's not a lot of info on this, but basically it says, love between a stuttering lady and a lowly knight. Stuttering Lady Maximilian is forced into a marriage with Sir Rifton, but he leaves on a campaign after their wedding night. 3 years later, he triumphantly returns, ready to cherish her. I know that's the truth, okay? I mean, I've read it, so I know. As life with her husband finally begins, she only has one question. Does she deserve this love and happiness? This is very, very stereotypical romantic manga. Not much story so far, but the illustrations are beautiful and I can't help but want to know what's happening next each. Actually, it doesn't come out each week. It comes out on the 10th, 20th, and 30th of each month. So yeah, I can't help but keep going back and looking for more, but not much plot. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. I need some more character development, but I am enjoying the beautiful illustrations and yeah, just something fun to read if I have a spare moment. Nothing crazy special, but something fun. The next book I read was Best Laid Plans by Lauren Blakely. I don't think I've ever read a Lauren Blakely book, but this is a new adult contemporary romance and it is steamy. It is very, very, very steamy, just so you know. But it was a lot of fun. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I thought it was super cute, but also at the same time very steamy, which, you know, I like sometimes. But I liked the balance of it because I find a lot of the times when you have a new adult book that focuses more on the steaminess, the plot really suffers. And I mean, some people are there just for the steam. That's fine. I like plot as well as steam. Is it so much to ask for? I don't think it is. This one had a good plot. It was a slow burn romance that kept heating up until the 4th act of the book. And the ending was a little cheesy, but I mean, it's kind of to be expected. What genre we're in. I really liked it though. It was super quick read. I love a feminist man who actually cares about his partner. So I mean, I was all for it. 4 out of 5. Just to give you a little quick synopsis, we have the main character Arden, who at the beginning of the book she is broken up with and she's told that she's too vanilla and that she's prudish, and she's like, no, but I don't want to be prudish. I want to, you know, be with you and we could do this fun thing and this fun thing, whatever. And her boyfriend's not having it, so she's dumped, and then she, later on down the road, decides to ask her super hot firefighter friend, because of course we all have one of those. Am I right, ladies? No, we don't. Anyways, she asks her friend Gabe to kind of pretend to be her boyfriend, sort of, in a way, just to like help her check off things on her list that she wants to try to explore. And yeah, it was very good, I gotta say. 4 out of 5. The next book I wrote was also another very quick read, and it was Shy Girls Write It Better by May Sage. Again, I have never read a book by May Sage. This just came across my Goodreads recommendations, and it's another romance new adult. This was a novella, so it took me no time at all. This sounded a lot more fun than it actually was. It was okay, but I mean, I'm not gonna read it again. I probably won't recommend it. I don't know, but just to, if you're interested, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. I don't know, looking back on it, probably give it a 3 out of 5, honestly, which is still not bad, but just not my favorite. It's about Cassie Franklin, who at work is a very shy, clumsy kind of person, but people don't know that she is a writer in her spare time, and she goes by the name Cassandra Frank. Not a far leap, but she knows that. It's all good. She's in on it, okay? But she writes romance novels or erotica in her spare time. Yeah, I think she says she writes erotica. It's not really quite romance. She writes more explicit romance. And there's a mix-up at work, and her latest chapter gets sent accidentally to her, of course, really hot boss. So yeah, it was fun. It was okay. Nothing to write home about. But no, it was fine. 3 out of 5. Next up, I read Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. This was my first ever Neil Gaiman book, and I know he's a huge fantasy author, but I just never picked up any of his books. I've seen some of the movies that have been adapted from his books. I've seen Coraline, I've seen Stardust a bajillion times, but I've never read anything. So this was actually a pick for our podcast. BYOB, bring your own book. Shameless plug. And I had a lot of fun with this. I gave it a 4 out of 5. It took me a bit longer to read than I thought it would, but I did really enjoy it. It was a little slower paced for me, which I was kind of, I don't know, it wasn't like there wasn't anything happening in the book because the plot is constantly moving forward. I think it was just in the way that you didn't get to spend a lot of time with each of the characters as you were going through the book. It felt kind of like a road trip movie where it's like, let's go here and meet this kooky person, and then go to the next place and meet another kooky person, and then go to the next place and meet, you know what I mean? So I still really enjoyed it. The world building is incredible. So whimsical, but also terrifying, but hilarious. Can't recommend it enough. So I don't want to go into too much detail because I have a whole podcast episode about this that I will link below. Yeah, if you're interested, check it out. It's a lot of fun, I think, with my friends Nikki and Tilly. But basically, this is about a man named Richard Mayhew who gets sent into the fantastical world of London Below, which is like London, England, but kind of flipped on its head. And it's in the sewers, and it's an alternate universe with crazy characters and rat speakers, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. The next book I read was also for the podcast, and that was The Golden Compass by Philip Pullman. I had never read this book. My friend Tilly is super into this series. I think she read it when she was younger and keeps reading it over and over because she just loves it that much. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5, which isn't bad. I think I was a little surprised of... I was surprised about some of the more serious themes in this book. I didn't know, because I knew it was for kids, but I was like, wow, this is really going on religion, which, okay, that's fine, you know, that's fine by me, but there was definitely some moments where I was like, this is not for kids. This is for adults. But, you know, a quick little synopsis for you in case you've never read the book or seen the movie, which I heard the movie sucked, so sorry. But the book was much better, in my opinion. I haven't seen the movie, but from the trailer, I think the book is way better, okay? So here's the short little synopsis for this book. Lyra is rushing to the cold, far north, where witch clans and armored bears rule. North, where the gobblers take the children they steal, including her friend Roger. North, where her fearsome uncle Asriel is trying to build a bridge to a parallel world. Can one small girl make a difference in such great and terrible endeavors? This is Lyra, a savage, a schemer, a liar, and as fierce and true a champion as Roger or Asriel could want. But what Lyra doesn't know is that to help one of them will be to betray the other. So yeah, I enjoyed this. It wasn't my absolute favorite. I'm not sure if I will read the rest of the series, but I wouldn't rule it out either. So yeah, it was just okay for me. 3.5 out of 5. The next book I read, I will not go very deep into because I had to read it for a workshop I'm taking for theater. So I had to read the play August, Osage County by Tracy Letts. Again, I had never read this play. I know it's a huge play. It's produced all the time. It is a very popular play. I had never read it. I don't know if it's maybe because it's an American play I never read it. I mean, we have to read a lot of American plays in school. I don't know why I wouldn't have had to read this, but anyways, I had to read this for a workshop that I'm taking online right now, and we're doing script work on it. So I'm liking the script work. The play itself, I would give it 3.5 out of 5. It was okay, but it was a lot, and not in a good way. It was like very soap opera-y. So I don't know about that. I think this is the type of play that actors really enjoy being in because each of the characters is really complex and you have a lot to play with. But in terms of everything together, it's kind of weird to me. Like, there's a lot going on, but nothing is resolved. It's kind of confused at times to me, so I don't know. I also heard that the movie adaptation with Meryl Streep didn't do very well. So I wonder if that's because of what I'm talking about, where it's fun for the actor, but for the audience, I don't know. I think there's a fine line you need to balance there, and it might be hard to balance it with the super melodramatic elements, and there's so many characters with so many loose ends that do not get tied up. I don't know. 3.5 out of 5. The last 2 books I read this month, one of them I'm not done yet. Like I said, I'm almost done, but one of the 2 I am done, and that was a reread of A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So I reread this just because the third one, The Crown of Gilded Bones, came out this month, and that's the book I'm not done yet. The second book, I gave it a 5 out of 5 the first time, and this time around I gave it a 4.5. I still really enjoyed it, but there's a lot of world building that you need to get through, whereas the first one from Blood and Ash is a lot of action, steam, you meet characters. Second one is like, yeah, there's steam, there's conflict, but there's a ton of info dumping, there's a ton of world building, which I get you need, but just know that. The third one, I'm not done yet. Got my Kobo here. 67% done, okay? I'm enjoying it, but it feels a lot like the second one. There's a lot of world building and info dumping. I don't know, I'm not as like, as I was for the first one when I first read it. And when I reread the first one, I was still like, wow, 5 out of 5, this is amazing. The third one, it's pretty good. The steam in the third one, oh my God, my eyes were like, at one part, chapter 16, if you've read it, you know what I'm talking about, okay? Wow. But I'm not done yet. I have about a quarter to go, and I'm liking it, but again, there's a lot of info dumping. So I'm curious to see how the last act goes, because I feel like there's going to be another huge twist. Which, yeah, I mean, even if I don't like this one as much as the other two, I'm gonna keep reading it because I'm obsessed with this series. And I'm super excited for the spin-off series to come out in October, my birthday month. Maybe another late birthday gift to myself, you know, whatever. I'm not mad about it. The new book is called A Shadow in the Ember, and it is about Nyctos and his consort and how their love shaped the realms for all time. Oh my God, cannot wait. That was my month of April. I didn't do that badly, but I feel like overall my average score is probably like a 3.5, which is not bad, but I've definitely had better reading months. That's it for me. I hope you're having a great day. Please don't forget to like and subscribe down below if you are enjoying this, and I will see you next time. Bye.